Okay guys, so let's get to your job and what your job description is, what you're actually going to do. So, setting appointments. Setting is not selling. So your goal is to set an appointment, not necessarily tell how great solar is to the customer. That's kind of our job as a closer. But even then, our job is to really get the customer to come to that conclusion on their own, because we want them to make the decision that they want to go solar, not us making them go solar, pushing them towards solar. Once we do that, it's pretty easy for them to see, you know, this is your electric company, this is with solar, pretty easy to figure out which one's better. But your goal is not to sell it. Your job is to spend 5 to 15 minutes with the customer to set the appointment and to be later educated on how solar works. That's our job. We go in, we give some information about solar, we give information about the electric company, we break down the panels, the warranties, all the specifics, what they're paying today, what they're paying or what they're going to be paying with solar, what they're going to be potentially paying in 10, 20, 30 years, and the overall price, etc., etc. Now, what you're going to need to get from the customer is their name and their number. You should have their name. You should have their address if it's a new homeowner. If you don't, and it's a cold knock, that's fine. You'll have to get it from them. But you might have an app like RepCard, and you probably still have their name and their address. So you're going to need to get their number and their email. Number is important because if they reschedule or cancel, you're going to need a way to contact them so we don't show up and they're not there. Email, that's pretty important for later on when we send them a proposal of the solar and how it works and try to go for the sale. The square footage of their house, the year it was built. The reason we get that information because this is going to give us an indication of how much electricity you're going to use. Same with the year they're built. If it was 1990 as opposed to 2 years ago, the efficiency is going to be different. The age of their roof, obviously if their roof is 30 years old, probably going to need to get that replaced. Their usage or usage habits, that can go down to as many as I work from home. We both work from home. We've got 7 kids. All those are going to increase the usage. Extra appliances, that means like a deep freeze or an electric car, a swimming pool, maybe even a hot tub. If they're gas and electric, that just means if they're electric going to be using a lot of electricity year round. If they have gas and electric, that just means in the winter time they'll be switching mainly to gas, so their electric bill will be lower in the winter and higher in the summer. Breaker box, we're looking for a 200 amp breaker. Basically see if they can provide enough power to put the solar panels on. If they don't have it, we can upgrade that. That's fine. We just need a picture of that so we know if we need to put an upgrade in there. Their meter, pretty self-explanatory, picture of the meter, and then the appointment, the date and the time of the appointment, so we know when to go to the customer's house. If you're unable to get any of this information, I would recommend telling the customer that if they don't know something, like the square footage, you can find that on Zillow. Try to make it as easy on the customer as possible, but we also want the customer involved. For information, for example, you have a little card and it says all the information fill out. You could say, hey, do you know which side of the house the meter's on? Like, I'm not sure, I think it's on that side. Cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to snap a picture to make sure you got the right meter. I'll leave this card with you, fill out as much as you can. Whatever you can't, we'll figure out, and I'll find the rest of it with Zillow, and I'll meet you back here in 30 seconds. Cool. So you come back, you've got the information, there's a few things missing. Obviously, we want to make sure that the meter's on there, but you took the picture, the breaker box. If they don't have that, if they don't want to let you get that, maybe it's inside their house. Obviously, we're going to try to push for it, because if they let you inside, which if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can give them your phone and they can take a picture and bring it out for you. But the more they're willing to do things, the more interested they are. If they don't really care or they're not showing any interest, they're probably not interested in solar. They're probably not going to show up to the appointment. So you want to get the customer involved, and we'll go over a little bit more in that in detail. But you're going to have a card that's going to show you all this on there, and you just have to fill it out, and on the back of the card it's going to have all the pictures you need to get, so in case you forget any of this. But your goal is to get as much of that information as you can, and then set the appointment, the date, and the time. Okay? Awesome. We'll move on to the next one. Thank you.